Hello everybody and welcome to Trinity Christian Crusader Coaches Show. I'm having to fill in for our guys today, and we're actually taping this on Eclipse Day. We're all by ourselves in here. I think everybody's eclipsing today, Coach.
That's right. A lot of excitement around the community all over the country about the eclipse, but football coaches' work's never done, so we're in here working.
That's absolutely right. We were talking off camera. We had a good game Friday night. I think there was a lot of good things during the game. We're 1-1 now. We know we lost Friday night, but let's talk about the good things.
Well, I think after the ball game, our coaching staff felt like, we played well at times and played well enough. We hate to use the word compete. We're not out there to compete. We're out there to win. So, we felt good at the time, but I think the more we've watched film over the weekend, that our coaching staff and then our kids, as we bring them in and look at film early part of the week, there's a lot of bright spots. Defensively, but even offensively in the kicking game, there were some things that we feel like we can build on.
Other than the score, what did you see different the last couple of weeks?
Kids, continue to buy in. It's a learning process. There's a process, and it doesn't occur, in a week or 2 or 3 days, or even in 2 weeks, even though we're 2 weeks into the season. But you're seeing some steps by some young men in becoming better players and becoming better technique players, and that confidence level, and that's something that I think, probably a couple of plays hurt us. We wouldn't play in at times with a lot of confidence, but for the most part, I think as the game wore on, we continue to gain confidence, even though obviously our kids and coaches were very disappointed in the loss.
And we're standing in the weight room right now, and I've talked to some of your players the last few weeks, and one of the first things they say to me is what they've been doing in the weight room. Now, buying in on the football field, buying in on what position they're playing, but buying in this weight room is so important.
It really is. 12 months out of the year, most of these kids, especially in high school, are playing multiple sports. At least some of them are. They should. I know all high school coaches, we stress that. You're never given that opportunity at the next level. There's things you can do on the football field that's going to help you as a baseball player and vice versa. But the weight room is so vital in building the core strength exercises that's going to help them on the football field, on the baseball diamond, and that takes time. That takes commitment. And like you said, Jack, there's going to be those kids buying into that, not just during football season, not just during a month leading up to football season, but back in January.
Yeah, absolutely. And looking around the state, we had a lot of cramps this past Friday night and Thursday night. How did we fare there?
I think pretty good. We had a couple of kids, late in the fourth quarter, but I think that was just, they're playing the guts out and playing exhaustion. Those things are going to happen, and, kids cramping up, and getting a bruise and a hurt there. I'm probably a lot of coaches out there will understand this, and maybe you're a little old school, you'll understand we don't need to build a pad for the helicopter, just because a kid gets a cramp or a bruise or falls down. Football is a tough sport, but our kids are really playing not just with a lot more physical strength, but they're playing with a lot of mental toughness and strength right now.
And another key ingredient for football players, and I think coaches, is looking over on the other side of the field Friday night. Trinity always brings a lot of people to a ball game, and that's important as far as when those kids hear their numbers called out, when they hear somebody applauding for them. But Trinity brings the Trinity family to these weight games, don't they?
What great tradition.
Yes.
Week in and week out season, and the 2017 season is upon us, and you and I have seen it's no different. It continues to build, whether we're playing a home game, or I should say whether we're playing a game here in Dublin at the Cleve, or we're off at John Millage. It seems like a home game. It seems that, the Trinity crowd is incredible. And it's very encouraging to me personally to go to games, to see people there who maybe their son or grandson played years ago, but they're there, and that's just that's more than tradition. That's family, and I think that's what Trinity is. It's family.
Okay, let's talk about players. Who were some standouts Friday night?
A couple of kids stand out. We was in there talking a while ago, offensive and defensive lineman Kalen Williams, 11th grader, you know, big red, you know, 6'6", 6'7" kid. You know, got a lot of potential size-wise, but it's got also a big heart too, not just a good-sized body. Playing with a lot of heart, a lot of determination. He's made a lot of progress. He's playing well. Another junior, Gideon Meadows, who unfortunately went down with an injury. Hope to get him back. We'll see. Our prayers are with him and his family. His brother, you know, senior Gabe Meadows, is playing very well right now on both sides of the football. You know, other seniors, Whit Mason's doing a great job at quarterback and also playing some linebacker in there. Matt Coleman, you know, is a leader on the offensive, defensive side of the ball. Chase Autry, again, also seems like we got about 3 or 4 fullbacks, but playing a good job on offense and defensive side of the ball. But it goes on and on. We have several, but those are just a few, and I'm sure I've left somebody out. But you know, we have several kids. You know, even our young kids at practice who right now aren't getting a lot of playing time. You know, we're going to play another JV game this Thursday, but really impressed with our freshmen, what they're doing on Thursday and what they're doing in practice each day.
And you've got middle schoolers that were middle school that went a couple of years undefeated. Now, how many of those do you have?
A good portion of those. You know, the thing, you know, there, I mean, you know, they've had a lot of success at the middle school level. Some of them, some years you don't have the success. Middle school, most important thing, and I've heard this from coaches in Texas, and football's a little bit important in Texas, is, you know, that the kids have a great and positive experience, and, you know, they did. They had a positive experience, so, you know, we're a benefactor of that, those kids having a good experience there in those middle school years.
And you know, we talk about the players, the coaches, the fans, but somebody else is important to a successful team. That's those trainers on the field, the ones that are being hollered at back and forth and trying to get on the field to do certain things. But you're pretty lucky in that area, aren't you?
Oh, we got a great support. You know, I call him our director of football operations, Rusty Meadows. You know, he does everything on Friday and through the week. You know, from taking care of our huddle tape, you know, that the folks will see here in a minute, the highlights, to our travel arrangements, our pregame meal arrangements. You know, I tell you, Rusty could call the plays and do everything, you know, but he's a blessing. And then certainly he's just one of many parents that are doing things behind the scenes, you know, taking the equipment up for us, you know, making sure with Rusty that those pregame meals are taken care of, the equipment's taken care of, and then things during the week, you know, whether it's a JV game and we need, you know, some Gatorade or something like that, all I have to do, I'm glad I learned to email years ago. All I got to do is put an email out, and within minutes I'll have people emailing me back or calling or texting and saying, we'll have it there, Coach. So just tremendous support by the Trinity family. And even a lot of times people who don't even have a kid playing on the football team. So it's very encouraging.
Yeah. So I take it you're glad you made the decision to come to Trinity. Is that what I hear in all this?
Amen. I'm blessed. You know, I'm tickled to death to be here. You know, a lot of, you know, support from the community and the folks here at Trinity. And I think the biggest thing is those 38 kids I get to coach each day, you know, and the kids I get to interact with here, not just the 38 on the football team, but the kids walking the hallways, from it be the elementary school kids, my middle school kids. I teach 4 Bible classes and absolutely, you know, love those 6th and 7th grade Bible classes. We have a blast. Mr. Cooey probably needs to get an adult in there to supervise them, because I'm certainly not. I have a ball with those kids. So you know, I'm enjoying myself working. I'm tired, you know, but you know, I certainly, you know, I love coming to work each day.
And I'm glad you said that, because my next question was, I understand you're quite the prankster in class, and I understand from my anonymous sources in television that I think the first day you had one of your Bible classes, you took them out of the room and you were taking them, said you were going to have class somewhere else, and I think you took them to an empty closet somewhere. I don't know if the rumor's right there, if you're going to deny that.
Yeah, well, you know, it's Trinity Christian School, and we want to make sure that, Sometimes you might associate a Bible class with falling asleep, but we're not going to fall asleep in here at Trinity in Bible class. We're going to have a lot of fun.
Well, good. We're going to take a break and come back with our highlights from this past week's game with John Millage. Stay with us. We'll be back right after this.
I want to thank you for sending Matt Hatchett to the Georgia General Assembly. He's an outstanding member, and I selected him to be one of my floor leaders. And he's done an outstanding job trying to get legislation through the General Assembly, and we have some good things to show for it. One of the largest tax cuts in the history of the state of Georgia, reform of our criminal justice system, and many other important initiatives that Matt has been an important part of getting that passed.
Hey, are you searching for a great used car, truck, van, or SUV? Head on over to Dublin Auto Sales, where the selection and value are sure to fit your budget. See Wayne Kemp, Bill Topping, Alan Fields, TJ DeRochi, or Freddie Cook today. Dublin Auto Sales, celebrating another great year in business. Now proud to be on both sides of North Jefferson Street with our new truck and SUV lot. You'll also find Dublin Auto Sales at 1705 Telfair Street in Dublin. Selection, value, and bank rate or in-house financing is available, so financing is never an issue. Dublin Auto Sales, if you're searching for a great used car, truck, van, or SUV, head on over to Dublin Auto Sales.
What if there was a paint that had the power to awaken something old, or painfully dated, or something you simply thought was lost forever, because it could form a strong bond regardless of age? If a paint could give any time-worn surface stunning new life, you have to wonder, is it still paint? Regal Select Exterior from Benjamin Moore.
Quality products and installation since 1985. That's 4 Seasons.
Welcome back, everybody. Coach Fields, let's take a look at this week's highlights.
Here, our first clip's opening kickoff. Colin Crozier, teased the ball up here. Great facility there, too. We're very proud of our facility, but a good facility there. We're going to see both the sideline copy and our end zone copy, and very appreciative of our booster club to provide the end zone copy each year for us. Here you see Gabe Meadows. You're going to see it again from an end zone view, making a big tackle. We had a couple of missed tackles early, as you and I spoke. Maybe looks like a block in the back on Josh Price here. He gets down here to look like he's in position to make the tackle, but had an unfortunate block there. Big play here on defense early. I thought our defense and the people who were at the game probably saw a lot of good defensive plays, and here's one of them right off the bat. Kalen Williams getting in there, providing a lot of pressure on a very good quarterback. You can't throw it. That's your best pass defense, getting pressure from up front. Also in there in the interior defensive line is sophomore Daniel Lindo, providing some pressure there. That entire defensive line and front seven, including those 2 linebackers, really got after it in the run game and the pass game. Another play here early on where they go into shotgun, their spread, and JT and them does a great job of being in the eye and then going to the spread. And again, we're basically just playing some type of matchup man, and looks like William Gay is in there first, followed by Gideon Meadows and a host of Crusaders, and they're having a lot of fun and celebrating together. A good play there, but going on to the next play. Here we see offense. Didn't have a consistent night offensively. You saw spurts, and here's one of them right here. A good run on the buck sweep by Jake Walker. Good block in there by sophomore Carson Kite, starting at offensive guard. Also Daniel Lindo providing a good kick-out block. Good down block by senior Chris Young there, and tight end Will Clardy. Here's another play defensively coming back in the first quarter. You can see him in the eye. Looks like here they're trying to run a counter. We get penetration in the backfield. Again, William Gay's the first there, but then you see Matt Coleman, Gideon Meadows, and Kalen Williams leading the charge. So another tackle for a loss. You see a little bit different. Our viewers going to see a little bit different from behind here on that end zone camera, the same play. And then we go into another offensive play, another big run here early in the game by Gideon Meadows. And Gideon's a junior. This is his second game playing some fullback, and we've got, several good fullbacks. Grant Gross doing a good job at moved him to center, back in the scrimmage a couple of weeks ago, and he's done a real good job, anchoring down that offensive line. Here, they're in the spread formation. Defense playing pretty much a matchup man, getting pressure on the quarterback. Chase Autry, that wasn't intentional grounding there. He didn't have much to do with it, but Chase Autry got there first, followed by Gideon Meadows and William Gay, putting a lot of pressure. Our DBs, what a tough position to play, but the best thing that can happen for them is that front seven to be putting pressure on them. Obviously we don't show the clips, John Millage was able to make a couple of plays against the secondary, against our defense, but we'll work on that. Here you see good pass defense. It gets the ball off, puts it up in the end zone, and good coverage there by junior Jake Walker against their big senior receiver there. Again, the end zone view will show it again. Pretty much, takes away the inside, plays the fade, gets his hands up, does a good job. Punt team, have one of our punt coverage, Whit Mason, the snapper, Walker Payne, does a great job of snapping, a sophomore, and good coverage here by Walker, good coverage, by Ken Taylor getting down there, senior Ken Taylor making a big tackle on the punt team. Here our viewers get to see the end zone copy. You can probably see how good a snap that is by Walker right into Whit's hands there, and Whit does a good job, of punting it near the sideline there where there's not much room to run, and then good coverage. Kicking game, as you well know, is huge. Again, more defensive clips here. You can see us crowding the line of scrimmage against that two-back set, trying to throw it, but not much place to go. Gideon Meadows and others there getting through there, getting penetration, that's the job of the defense, is to give frustration to the offensive line, to the quarterback, and our kids, when that ball moved, they were really getting off the football. Real proud of them, and defense can set the tempo. Back to offense here. This was in the third quarter, I believe. I think you're going to see Gideon Meadows running a veer play. It was a give, breaks back. Good blocking downfield by senior Chris Young. Again, sophomore Walker Payne blocking out on the edge behind the offensive line there. Here you'll see Kalen Williams playing left tackle. There you'll see him, should see him block down here with the left guard, and providing some good blocking there for the what we call 33 veer. And good job by Whit on the read, giving it there. Back to defense here. This also in the third quarter. They're in a trip set, trying to throw the football here, and pretty good pass coverage by Will Clardy. Anytime you play a good offense with good receivers, the DBs are going to take some lumps, and they did the other night, but they also did some good things. And it's like we said off camera, it's a good learning experience. There's nothing like on the field time against a good quarterback and good receivers. So real proud of the way our defensive backs grew up. I think the film, they're going to see a lot of their mistakes and hopefully get better. Here they go to an empty set. We got them covered up the best we can, but there's the best pass defense. Gideon Meadows getting pressure in there and batting the ball down, and just real, again, defense. That excites me. That other stuff, offense is just, that occupies time, get first downs, but defense can really set the tempo for a game and for your team, and our kids really buy in, and they love playing defense. Here, another defensive clip, late, this is late in the third quarter, and you can see the quarterback scrambles out of a broken play, and I tell you, That's one of several tackles in the open field that senior Gabe Meadows made. What a good tackle he made that. You saw in the opening kickoff and others that he made. So love working with these kids, a great group of kids, and just so proud of their work ethic and their resolve. And I know they'll come back in. My full expectation of working harder this Monday than they did last Monday.
Okay, we got a big game at Sandersville coming up this Friday night. Stay with us. We'll be back right after this.
Choose the convenience of Neighbors Express and get friendly, courteous service every time you visit any of our convenient locations. Fill up with pay at the pump and take advantage of our bigger and better selection of beverages and tobacco products. And buy 12 packs of Pepsi products, 2 for $6.99. Enjoy the popular crushed ice with your favorite fountain drink. Also enjoy a fresh, hot breakfast. Stop by for lunch or dinner. It's always fresh, always convenient at Neighbors Express. Now located at I-16 and 441 and in Cedar Grove, providing farm fuel for all our customers. Count on the convenience of Neighbors Express. Score big with the Dublin Piggly Wiggly. Catch all the savings throughout the store. Score big with fresh produce, grocery items, dairy products, and don't fumble the handoff. Choose 100% certified Angus beef from Dublin Piggly Wiggly. Taste the difference today. Fresh food, friendly service. Piggly Wiggly.
There's more than one way to get professional lawn care. Do it yourself, like this homeowner, with whatever this is. Pros use reliable, powerful Gravely equipment. This homeowner gets by with something else. Gravely delivers the high performance and quality professionals stake their reputation on. Gravely outpowers, outlasts, outperforms. Get what the pros use.
Now at Myers Equipment and Supply in Dublin.
Welcome back, everybody, to our Trinity Christian School Crusader. Let me do that again. I can't get it out. Welcome back, everybody, to our Trinity Crusaders. I still can't do it. I guess I'm eclipsing right here, huh? My wife edits this right here. I'm sorry. Welcome back, everybody, to our Trinity Crusader Football Coaches Show, and we're headed to Sandersville this week.
Yeah, real excited. You know, opponent number 3, you know, coming up. But Coach Burt Brown, been there a long time and got a great reputation, great football tradition at Brentwood. And we'll have our hands full. I know, you know, they do a great job year in and year out. That community really backs that football program. So it'll be a great atmosphere this Friday night at Brentwood.
What do you expect this week?
I expect their best. I mean, I expect opponent number 3 to give us, you know, everything and more. You know, it'll be a very physical football game. They got a good group of seniors, you know, an outstanding quarterback and some other kids around him that, you know, I tell you what, I know Coach Brown's excited about the group he has. So, I mean, we've got our work cut out for us. We're going to have to play 4 good quarters of Trinity football.
Well, it's not a long trip. You'll be there in 15, 20 minutes probably. So does that play into the...
You know, we're able, just like last week, we're able to eat our pregame meal here in Dublin. And so, you know, it's not like some of the trips we're going to have to make this year where you have to get out a little bit of the norm to where you have to leave early and maybe eat pregame somewhere different, you know. So routine, you know, you've been around athletics and football coaches, routine is big, you know, whether it be the practice schedule Monday through Thursday, but even game day. But Brentwood being close by certainly helps us stay in the routine.
Okay, you only threw a couple of times the first game. You didn't really have success this past Friday night. Will that increase throughout the season? You
know, Coach Ward and Coach Sinkbell, the other offensive coaches, we work closely together, and you know, they do a great job of putting together the game plan each week. But certainly, you know, we want to run the football, but you know, in order to do that, you know, you got to have play action pass, you got to have short passing games, some things that can open that up. And that's something even back in the summer, you know, we took part in a lot of 7-on-7s that we're working and developing. And you know, the offense, and particularly the offensive passing game, is something that's progressing each week. You know, I think we saw, you know, in our scrimmages at times the running game, you know, and the passing game really clicked together. Maybe opponent number 1, it clicked a little better at times. Obviously, last week with the loss to opponent number 2, it didn't really click. consistently like we want. Of course, we're working at that every week, and you know, we'll have another good week of hard work, getting the running game and the passing game to click together.
Okay, you keep talking opponent 1, 2, 3. At what opponent do we reach the region?
We'll go through 6 opponents, you know,
Okay.
and we'll have, you know, that's where, you know, I don't want to say we get that out of the way,
Right.
but these 6 opponents that we're playing in the some coaches almost call it the preseason, but it's very important in your non-region games to build momentum, to build confidence, to have kids build confidence, to have the team build confidence, and establish identity, you know, on defense, offense, and the kicking game. And, you know, after opponent number 3, we're halfway through our non-region schedule.
And before we go today, one person I didn't talk about during the show today is probably your biggest fan. I watch Shannon post things on Facebook every week. She's so proud of you, and she is your #1 fan and a big supporter. And what would you say about that today?
Well, I think other coaches who are watching this show, and I think parents understand, I could never do what I'm able to do without her. And even though she's not here, you know, she's not the one doing the coaches show. She's not the one maybe walking the sideline on Friday night or up here during practice or working on the weekends, but she's the one at home. She's the one supporting. She's the one, you know, to be honest, loving those kids as much or more than I do. And if she didn't have, you know, it in her heart and understand that it's a lot more than just football, but, you know, you're ministering to kids in a very important time in their life, you know, 14, 15, 16 years old, you only have them for a small window, and so she sacrifices, and I couldn't do it without her.
Yeah, behind every good man is a wonderful woman.
That's right. She keeps me straight, and she's my best friend, and she's my, I'm just her assistant. You know, she's the head coach, and you know, I'm glad to be on her staff.
Absolutely. And the 2 men on this set definitely need that good woman behind us, don't we? To keep us straight. You just said a mouthful there. So, Coach Phil's always good to talk with you.
Great to talk with you. Appreciate all TV 35 does in support of, you know, you're always very kind and gracious to Trinity here, and I know our Trinity family appreciates that, but also what you do for the Dublin, Lawrence County community, high school sports. You're always so excited and supportive, and that means a lot.
It's all about the kids, isn't it, brother?
That's right, doing the right thing, and certainly TV 35 does a great job.
Thank you, Coach.